Let's make it a good
Coming up
day.
today, what exactly was happening on my flight home yesterday? I'll show you the video of the fun at 37,000 feet. Then it's soup season, and the queen of soups, Stephanie Hansen, is back sharing her favorite recipes and soup tips. And I'm digging into Katie Couric's new book, Yes, I Am, and I'll give you the real story behind her Deborah Norville criticism. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Brainerd. Good morning, Sleepy Eye. Good morning, Lonsdale. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and Dairy Queen's Employee of the Month. Hot eats, cool treats. It's Kendall Mark.
Hello. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. A lot of DQs probably closed for the season, like the small town DQs, they close.
I don't know. A lot of them stay open now.
They do?
Not in small towns. The small
Yeah.
town ones, yeah. So
Because ours would close in the winter and it'd be so exciting when it would open back
I
up.
know. It was always a big deal. Welcome to the show. Welcome to November. It's good to have you here. I'm going to do a quick shout out real quick. Now, I have two stories today. I love when I get back. I did a little trip this weekend back to Disney World because I do a little a show about Disney. And anyway, so it was a research trip. They unveiled this new line skipping thing. I'm not going to bore you with that. But two things. People know that I go there a lot, and we now have friends. And one of our friends, two of our friends, Julie and Elena, they are bartenders at the legendary Tune-In Lounge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And the lounge is legendary. People come just to get a drink from Julie and Elena. Well, right now, as we speak, they have the Jason Show on in Orlando at Disney World. So we want to they call it Monday Fun Day. It's a tradition. All these people gather on Mondays at this bar at Hollywood Studios. So we just, Kendall, say hi to our folks, our friends at the Tune-In Lounge.
Hi, Tune-In Lounge.
Hello, Monday Fun Day. I love y'all. Now, speaking of that trip, you will not believe all of the things that happened on my flight back, my Delta flight from Orlando to MSP.
Was it bad?
No.
Okay.
It was great for the television show. And that's all I kept thinking.
Oh.
Well, this is a segment. Well, this is a segment. First, I'm going to tell you this story. This is the shorter one. We're sitting down, we get sat, and I'm really tired. I mean, as I was saying, when we're at Disney, we're running and gunning. We're going, ask Stephanie Hansen. Stephanie no longer has use of her left leg. We run her so hard. But anyway, we're running and gunning, and I'm exhausted. I'm half asleep. And all of a sudden, I feel Colin tapping me, and I took out my AirPods. I go, what? He goes, listen. I go, listen to what? He goes, listen. And then all of a sudden I heard, wing, 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 wing. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And he goes, and he looked, this was Colin, he goes like this, he goes, I think the woman behind us has a guinea pig. And I said, a guinea pig? And he goes, it's not a dog, it's a guinea pig. Which, by the way, can I tell you, that's my favorite quote of our trip. It's not a dog, it's a guinea pig. And I said, oh my goodness, maybe it's like an emotional support pig, you know, which I never thought I would say that sentence in my life. But then every so often for the rest of the flight, I would hear it whinny just a little bit. And then this is my favorite part. The flight attendant comes over. This is so fantastic. The flight attendant goes like this. Oh, I didn't see that little guy down there, which is my second favorite quote of our trip. Okay, so speaking of this flight attendant, and I'll make this quick, let's call him Smiley, okay?
Smiley.
I'm going to lead with the positive. Delta, are you watching? You bigwigs over at Delta, you are lucky to have the crew of the Delta flight, I don't know the number, out of Orlando to MSP last night, the 6 o'clock flight. The flight lead was the happiest flight attendant I've ever seen in my life. And
Lovely.
he loved the intercom. Oh my goodness, did he love the intercom. Welcome aboard Delta Flight from Orlando to MSP, the Twin Cities. On board today, we're raising money. And they were raising money for this charity, which is fantastic.
Oh, cool.
And he says, If we reach $400 during this flight, I'm going to be doing the push-up, hot coffee, Biscoff cookie challenge. And I thought, what in the world is that? So this guy said that if they raised $300 on this flight, he was going to get on his, he was going to do push-ups with hot coffee sitting on his chin, like sitting on the floor. And he goes, I would do 100 push-ups if we raised 300. Well, then about an hour into the flight, I hear this. Congratulations, we have now reached 37,000 feet and $300. I will now be in the aisle doing my push-ups. Roll it, Steve. Look at this. Here he is. Here's the flight attendant.
What?
Doing 100 push-ups at 37,000 feet with a coffee on his chin. You know, that's the challenge, because if he drops, he's going to be scalded by the coffee. So there he is doing 100 push-ups in the middle of our flight.
What?
Yeah.
That alone should go viral.
Yeah, there we go. Wow. Congratulations. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it. You can see more of that, by the way, on my Instagram. Just search for Jason Matheson. It's in my reels, as the kids call it. Get ready. A new city is joining Bravo's Real Housewives franchise, and it's not even in the U.S. Listen to this. Andy Cohen was on the Today Show this morning and made this announcement. Look.
Get your passports. Our 11th city. We are going to the Billionaires Playground, the City of Gold, the Desert Oasis, the Real Housewives of Dubai.
What?
It's our first international city produced by Bravo. This is major. You two don't get it, but it's huge.
My sister used to live in Dubai. She just moved back.
She could have been a Real Housewife.
We have a great group of friends. This is going to blow the lid off the entire franchise.
Love it.
Settle down, Andy. Anyway, there you have it, the Real Housewives of Dubai. We don't know yet when it's going to premiere, who's going to be in it. We did hear of like one that might be really good, but anyway. While there have been other international housewives shows, as you heard Andy say, the reason this is a big deal, this will be the first one actually produced by Bravo, which means we'll be able to watch it here in the good old United States, America.
On our regular old television.
That's right. Well, no, you have to have cable. I mean, you can't have antennas or whatever. Staying on the topic of Housewives, more than 8 years after it ended, The Real Housewives of Miami is coming back, Kendall. They're coming back, and it's streaming on Peacock. Yeah. The fourth season of the show will premiere in December. Now, it's going to have a couple of the original cast members and then some new ones as well. Among the new cast, former Russian beauty queen and current wife of Martina Navratilova, Julia.
No, can you say that last name one more time? Because it's cool when you say
Lemagova. Julia Lemagova. Thank you for hitting that, yeah.
It's like Navratilova, I can't.
That's like, yeah. Martina Navratilova, Julia Lemagova.
That is so many
That's like my
consonants.
friend Amelia Santinello Vassalero Santinello. Which, by the way, she just had a birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
That's right. Next up, I'm excited about that. I liked Miami. Yeah. Next up, Halloween is in the rearview mirror, except on our set. And celebrities really stepped it up this weekend with their costumes. I'm in so much trouble. Here are some of our favorites. First up, oh, now this one wins it for me. Look at Lizzo, everybody, dressed up as Baby Yoda. We kept looking at this all weekend. I'm not kidding. This made me so happy. Next, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Let's look at her. They recreated Dirty Dancing with her husband, Freddie Prinze. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Jr. That's good.
That is cute.
I like that one. Uh-huh. Yeah, come here, lover boy. A lover boy. Anyway, Katy Perry went topical, dressing as a syringe, and Orlando Bloom was a doctor. That's nice. You know what? That's actually pretty darn funny.
Only Katy Perry could be a syringe.
And only Orlando Bloom will look that good in that outfit. Yeah.
So hot.
Sometimes, again, good Lord gives with both hands. Hailey Bieber went all out dressing as different eras in the life of Britney Spears. The first one, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Let's look at the next one. Oops, I Did It Again. Our producer Bjorn also went as that era of Britney. Finally, Britney's I'm a Slave for You. Mrs. Biebs said Britney was the first concert she ever went to. That makes sense. That's about the right age.
I'm a little sad you didn't name all of the songs. Like, I'm a slave for you.
I want viewers. Some stars went all out releasing videos with their costume. Sierra recreated TLC's Creep, dressing up as all 3 members of the group. I haven't seen this yet. Wow.
So cool.
Okay, that's really good, Sierra.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that is awesome. I would not, from a distance, I wouldn't be able to, I would think that was the original video.
That's
Congrats,
cool.
yeah. Rapper Saweetie recreated Halle Berry's Catwoman, which included a special guest. Look at this.
You see, sometimes I'm good. Oh, I'm very good. But sometimes I'm bad. But only as bad as I want to be. What the hell is going on here?
I'm just trying to get out here and get these coins.
I know that's right.
That is good. That is good. Now, look, that movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but that's a great costume.
Her as Catwoman is like iconic.
That costume,
The look.
But still, my favorite Catwoman costume will always be Michelle Pfeiffer's in Batman Returns. Come on. I would wear that if I could.
Me too, but I don't know if you could get enough like jelly to get me squeezed into it.
Again, I want viewers. Finally, Reese Witherspoon must have been watching our show recently. Check out her costume. She went as Tippi Hedren from Hitchcock's The Birds, a costume we've been talking a lot about on our show recently. And that's because Kendall did the same costume. Here's my beloved little sister, Kendall, being attacked by demonic birds. Look at that.
I know. I kept adding them to my hair, and then people at my house were like, are there more birds?
Bravo. That was a great costume. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for the inspiration.
You're very welcome. Anything for you. We're going to take a break. Stephanie Hansen and more when we come back. Back in a moment. More fun is still ahead. Stephanie Hansen is back, and today, grab the broth and grab the veggies. She's spilling her best tips and tricks for making homemade soups. Then, a lot has been said about Katie Couric's new book.
Still can't decide whether I'm Catherine or Katie.
Well, I am reading it, like actually reading it. And I'll tell you what the critics are getting all wrong. And we're taking you to Valley Fair from the comfort of your living room. That and more when The Jason Show continues.
Now, this.
And now, once again, our annual look at what happens when local news and Halloween collide.
Welcome to Living East Tennessee. I'm Justin Young with Frank Murphy, and clearly we had different ideas when it came to dressing up for Halloween.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you? You look lovely.
Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Right over here.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just gonna lean, I think.
We got a big wrestling tournament downtown, which is a USA wrestling event.
I got the chance to speak with James Jude Courtney, who plays Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise.
Swedish Chef, can you tell us what our topic is today?
I can't handle this.
And this rain activity is going to be headed up to New York City later on tonight.
57 degrees is a high. All right, well, I'm done with this.
Halloween's the best time for tricks, treats, child's play, and clowning around. Even celebrities love Twisted Pennywise. Take a look. We have the clip.
That last station, fun fact, is from our sister station in LA. The executive producer is one of my best friends, Hey Hey Haley. It's a clip from John Oliver's Last Week Tonight. Oh, that's good. See, but that's what happens when you dress up like a hot dog.
I know. You got to do it like at the end,
Yeah.
or, where there's no more news.
Yeah. One more time, Stephanie Hansen coming up, just complimenting. I got to say it again. We did our Halloween show on Friday. We did Gilligan's Island, and our editor, photographer extraordinaire, Eric, did an amazing job recreating the opening titles for Gilligan's Island. If you haven't seen it, I think we posted it. I put it on my Instagram. Go look at it. It is flawless, and so is he, except when we're at a gem piece and he forgets to turn the power onto the microphone. But other than that, he's flawless. Had to throw that shade in there, Eric.
I need my sunglasses off.
A Real Housewife speaks out after a terrifying real-life ordeal. It's just one of the stories we're talking about this morning with our friends from TMZ. Brad from TMZ joins us now. Hi, buddy.
Good morning, Jason. I was cracking up. The hot dog and the princess variation in the costumes there was pretty good.
Well, and I like the two devils, or what were they, Jeff, complimenting each other. You look nice. Oh, thank you.
Like demon clowns, right.
Hey, you guys caught up with Dorit from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You guys had the story last week, that home invasion. What did they say?
Yeah, I mean, it was terrifying for her. She was home with her kids here in LA, and 3 men stormed into her home, stole hundreds of thousands worth of valuables. We got her and her husband, Paul, out over the weekend, and we spoke to them. We said, kind of what's next for your family? I mean, obviously, this was a traumatic experience. So we do know that they have now hired 24/7 security that will be at their home. Police have not made any arrests yet, but when we spoke with Paul, we asked if there was any chance that the family would be moving, and he seemed to indicate that they would, and it's hard to imagine kind of staying in a house after experiencing something so traumatic.
It's awful, just awful. Another sad story, Alec Baldwin's family leaving New York following the deadly shooting on his movie set, and his wife hints at the reasons why. What's the latest with this story?
Right, so we do know that they escaped kind of New York City, and they're kind of hiding out in, I believe it's Connecticut, is the latest place that we got them at. But Hilaria said, look, I'm afraid for my husband's well-being. Obviously, this was a traumatic experience. Possible maybe there'll be some PTSD after this. And the video you're seeing now is Alec actually spoke out over the weekend, too, and spoke with photographers about it. He said, look, this was my friend. It was an awful thing that happened. One puzzling thing that he said, Jason, though, he said, look, this is a 1 in a trillion thing. This was a tight set. And we know that's just not the case. We know that this was an inexperienced armorer. We know that there was live ammunition on the set. This was a real gun used. So you almost wonder if prosecutors are going to listen to this and say, wait a minute, a lot more safety could have been put in place here.
Yeah. Finally, this is a nice story. Kal Penn surprised folks over the weekend, revealing living his truth in a new book. Tell us about this.
It's really incredible. So not only did Kal Penn let the public know that he was gay, he also said he's been in a relationship for 11 years, and he and his fiance Josh are going to get married soon. So it's really incredible because, look, he said, the people around me obviously have known this, but he's been a very public guy for a very long time. And it's just nothing that he felt that he needed to address. And he said, in this book, I didn't want to leave any stones unturned, so he's kind of letting it out.
I love it, and I can't wait for the day when this doesn't make news. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I hear you there.
Brad, have a good week, my friend.
You too, Jason.
Thank you. For more of these stories, go to tmz.com. Back to that flight attendant. So, other than him doing push-ups, can I tell you, he was the most positive person. Again, Delta, you're lucky to have him. We landed, and he loved that intercom too, girl. He loved his intercom. And he gets on there, and we're at the gate. And now, you know how it is when you fly. When you get to the gate, you just want to get off the plane, right?
Yep,
right,
it's
friends?
just
You just want to
chaos.
get off. And he gets on the intercom, and he goes, okay, welcome to the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, where the local time is 8:45. If this is home, welcome home. If this is one stop on your journey, have fun and go forward. And before you get off, may I leave you with some parting words? And I thought, at this point, oh God, no.
Let me off.
I want to get off the plane. I see the gate thing. What is it called? The jetway.
Yeah.
I see that docking. I'm like, oh God, I just want to go home. I got to go to bed. And he's like, and then he starts giving like a winner's minute, Mac Hammond-esque motivational moment. He's like, like Maya Angelou. I just want to say, kindness is free. And I know why the caged bird sings. And he goes on giving, and I thought, this is joyous. It's really great. Maybe not at 10 o'clock at night. And then a guy in a Hufflepuff outfit. He looked like he was a Hufflepuff,
Halloween.
yeah. He looked at the flight attendant. He goes, thank you for your positivity. And I said, yeah, I'll take smiley flight attendant over the idiots punching each other on these flights. So Delta, you're lucky to have positive Paul, we'll call him. Yeah.
Did you feel inspired?
No, I just wanted to get off the plane, if I'm being very honest.
Okay. Like, that's nice. Go away.
Yeah, because it just went on a little too long. But he's very nice. More dish for you now. One of the biggest groups in music history makes a return this week. Listen to this. ABBA's first album in decades comes out this week. I'm surprised executive producer Jeff is even working. And it has all new music. Not retreads, new music. Two members of the group talked to one of our favorite shows, CBS Sunday Morning, and had to explain why the other two members, the A's, weren't present.
This is the global broadcast exclusive, sitting down with you. Yeah. But you were the two B's in ABBA.
Yeah.
Do you wish that the two A's were also here?
That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
That would have been wonderful, yes.
But it was in the deal.
We'll perform. We
We'll
don't
do
want
that.
to do the press.
We don't want to do this.
No.
It's easier to say no to things when you're 74,
Yes,
75.
exactly.
Absolutely. We all need to get better at saying no sometimes. Look at this. Okay, so the two women in ABBA have stayed mostly out of the spotlight for 40 years. Along with the album, ABBA's creating a new concert experience using digital avatars that you just saw, and they're going to perform those avatars with a live band. I mean, they built a stadium just for this, Kendall.
Wow.
So it's not going to be creepy like a hologram.
Right.
They spent months, the original members, doing the motion, and these avatars are going to make them look like they did in their heyday. But it's really them, their movements, their voice. I think it's cool. I'm not always for these types of things. This is awesome.
It's cool. It's different. I just think personally, if I'm going to pay to see them and be really excited, I don't care that they're getting older. I want to just see them, you know?
Well, we will see them. I mean, I think they're going to be, well, I don't know. I get what you're saying.
Right. I don't, but it's cool.
I want to see it, though. I mean, the last time anything like this happened is when Caesar's Palace built the Colosseum for Celine.
Love you.
Love you forever. But yeah, I want to see this. I want to hear this new music, too. I love ABBA. Next in the dish, the king of the drones is back. Minnesotan Jake, what's so funny about that? He is the king of the drones.
The king of the drones.
Yeah. Minnesotan Jay Christensen, known for his incredible videos at the Bryant Lake Bowl, Mall of America, more, is out with a new video this morning. It is, now here's the deal. It is a single shot. That's the genius of what he does. It's a single shot take through the amusement park Valley Fair here in Minnesota. Look at this.
Oh no, don't look down.
Oh my goodness. Again, the genius of this, and Kendall knows it well. Kendall worked with Jay. The timing. This is one shot. So the timing of all the different rides and the timing of, I mean, it's just incredible. Right, Kendall? I mean, you know this better than I.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure they had to do it a bajillion times to get it 100% right. But I remember we went to
Here comes the cool part, Kendall.
Okay.
Executive producer Jeff said this is cool. Okay, he's going to go through the loop. Hold on a minute, kids. This will be worth it. And if not, keep your receipt and take us back.
It's fine.
Hold on. Okay, now Jeff said it's coming. Did he lie to us?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think he lied to us. Okay. Here it is.
The corkscrew.
Look at that. The video takes people through the entire park, showing you all the big rides. You can see the whole thing on Valley Fair's social media pages. Yesterday marked, sadly, the end of the Valley Fair season here at home in the Twin Cities.
Sad day.
Yeah, but
No
Jay's
rides.
so good. We're eventually going to have him back. He's going to do a little thing for us. But
Flying through.
Yep, flying through. We're going to fly through the engineer shop back there while Brad's making stuff. Then we're going to fly through Kim Jong-un's office to see who she's firing today.
Oh, how exciting.
Then down to HR where the fired person will be sitting. You know what I mean?
Hopefully it's not
Be
me.
exciting. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Back in a moment.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh,
The boys of the Yam House. I'm sorry, the men of Yam House. They're on tour right now. Go to their social media for dates and times. Welcome back. Well, when it's cold outside, nothing beats a warm, hearty bowl of soup. Right, Steph?
That's right, Jace.
We're helping you step up your soup game today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show with some of her favorite soup tips and recipes. The woman dubbed the Soup Queen by her family, the Queen herself, Her Majesty, Stephanie Hansen.
Hello, friends.
Should I curtsy?
I did a little.
Yeah, I'll curtsy. There we go.
Yes.
There we go. All kidding aside, I called you that in our promos.
Yeah.
But your family really does call you the Soup Queen?
My family, my friends, my radio show. I actually counted over the weekend, and I did the work for anyone that's interested in soups. I compiled 13 of my original recipes in one post about soups.
Really?
Yes, and I did it just for you.
Okay, because you know, Stephanie, you know, Minnesota, you all, Wisconsin, have always loved her. Stephanie is huge in Seattle, the viewers in our Washington station love you.
And they're new. So I did if you're doing stock pot soups, if you're doing instant pot soups, if you're doing crock pot soups, because we just got out of Crocktober.
Yeah, we sure did. Okay, so in this segment, we're gonna do your tips, and I have a list here. Shall we go down them?
Sure.
And you're making roasted tomato basil soup. That's what we have there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is delicious.
It is delicious, and you can make it with cream or without. So if you're a dairy-free person.
Okay.
It is with roasted tomatoes that I do it, but you can also do it with canned. So I kind of have the recipe for both ways.
Okay. Let's go through your tips.
Okay.
Different ways to cook, and you just said this: stove, instant pot.
Yeah. So soups, so you have a stock pot, which is on the stove. You have a crock pot, which is the 8-hour slow cooker, or you have the instant pot, which is the pressure cooker and also has a slow cooker function. And most of these recipes can be interchanged, but I kind of identified this is made for the stovetop, how I've designed it. This is a crock pot. This is an instant pot. And again, some of these recipes, it just depends on what you have and how creative you want to get.
Generally speaking, what is your favorite for quality? What do you find? You are the soup queen.
Yeah, it used to be the crock pot. I really love my crock pot, but my instant pot has kind of moved my crock pot to the side. I still have it. I'm not getting rid of it, even though there is a crock pot feature on the instant pot, because I'm too worried about that. I need both things. But I think the instant pot is quick, it's fast, the flavor's good, and you can get soup on the table instead of some recipes, it's 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Anybody got time for that unless you're at some cold, cozy cabin or it's the new year?
Nobody has time for that. Next tip, keep stock in a bag in the freezer.
Okay, so this is my legit bag from home. I call it the stock bag. Notice there's no stock in there, it's just vegetable scraps. Also, when I eat chicken, I put the bones in here. When we prepare chicken, I pull off the skin or the gizzards or any of that stuff goes in this bag. And when the bag gets full, I put it in my Instant Pot for 35 minutes and I make my own stock. So I always have chicken or vegetable stock ready if I want to make soup. And it makes a better soup. You know, some stocks are good, but some aren't so good. They're just $3 worth of water and salt. So I find that this just, I feel ecological. I make my own.
And you keep that in the refrigerator, obviously.
I keep it in the freezer.
That's right, in the freezer.
And so anytime I'm cutting something, even like tomatoes, mushrooms, whatever, cucumbers, doesn't matter. Throw it in the bag, and when the bag is full, I make stock.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, and
I love that.
Super handy.
Okay, next, use mason jars for storage.
Okay, this is the tip that you're all gonna leave the show being like, oh, I never even thought about that. So here's the thing.
I love those moments.
This is a quart. This quart is 4 cups of soup, which is perfect for 2, right? The smaller ones that are the pints are 2 cups of soup, which is perfect for 1. So I started putting soups in the pint jars and then bringing it to work. And by lunchtime, it was pretty thawed out. And I could just throw it in the microwave and eat right out of the jar. I just love storing soups in mason jars. I like giving soup in mason jars. And you're wondering oh my gosh, can you freeze those? Yes, you can,
and
friends.
They sound just like that when they ask that question.
That's my Minnesota accent that half sounds like me. You leave about 1.5 inches worth of what we call headroom so that when the soup expands at freezing, it doesn't crack the jar.
Okay.
More brothy soups need less headroom. If you have a lot of beans and chunky things in there, you want to give it a little bit more. And I will tell you, in all my years of freezing soups, I've probably had 6 jars crack. Sometimes they get old and they can't handle the temperature change. But even if they crack, they just like crack down the half and you just throw that one away. Like, it's not like you're gonna get injured or it's shattering or anything.
Because the room at the top, I know my mother had an aha moment with that, because she's like, she didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just a really inexpensive way. Tupperware is expensive. Some people like to store soup flat in plastic Ziploc bags, but then reheating it's kind of a pain, because what do you put it in? It's a giant square brick.
Okay, really quick. In this segment, let's just do this one and we'll finish on the other side. Use soup as a gift.
Yes. I just give soups for when people have babies, when people get married, when someone's done something nice for me. I have a little craft tag and I'll just write pea soup. I'll tie it around the top. I can't tell you, people really appreciate like homemade things and they like that it's quick and easy. If you're not having a great day, I'll bring you some soup. I had one person during the pandemic, he almost cried. He hadn't seen anyone in like 6 months. And I knocked on his door and handed him some soup. I don't think he'll ever forget it, and nor will I, so I keep doing it.
You're such a good person.
It was nice. It was nice to give him some soup.
You're a little angel here on earth.
Thank you.
More soup tips when we come back, and we're answering your soup questions too. Back in a moment with my little soup angel. Welcome back with our soup queen, the one and only Stephanie Hansen. Let's talk about, we went through this kind of ease a little quickly, and we went through the tomato basil kind of quickly. Before we answer folks' questions, what else do you want to say about your delicious tomato basil?
Okay, I think tomato basil is like the easiest soup in the world. You can roast your Roma tomatoes like I've talked about on the show before, how you roast them low and slow, and then you blend everything up. You can add some cream, you add basil. That can be soup in and of itself. If you just have like cans of tomato, you put a 1 onion, you saute it, 4 cloves of garlic, 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, and some chicken stock. And then you blend up basil in there, about 2 cups. I have the recipe online, but so that is a dairy-free version of tomato soup. If you want to add some cream, which this has cream in it, I like to add cream to everything because it tastes delicious, then you add cream. But I think roasted tomato soup or tomato soup is one of the easiest soups to make.
Can you, Steve, can you take that shot again? Can we just acknowledge, I love it that the woman on your apron is perfectly located, like look at.
On my stomach?
I just want to say, it looks like she's
Hello,
like, hey,
friends.
look at this tomato basil soup.
She's really going to town. It's kind of my Dia de los Muertos apron. It's just getting out of Halloween. So, was that a little too much that I just belly danced on the show?
You're never too much. Okay. Photographer Eric loved it, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
Hey, you want to answer some questions?
Sure. Soup questions?
On our Facebook page, we gave you the chance to ask Stephanie some soup-related questions. First up, Cindy. Cindy asks, how long is soup good for after you make it, if just kept in the refrigerator, not freezing it?
Oh, Cindy. I mean, I'm no health expert, but I eat things until they smell bad. And you just use your nose. So there is no real guide. It's like, does it smell good? It's good. Eat it.
She eats things until it smells bad.
That's right. And
Back
when
to
it
you,
smells
Chuck.
bad, you get rid of it.
This will be on John Oliver
Yeah,
before you
probably.
know it. Yeah. And by the way, she's not a doctor. Don't listen to that and sue us, okay?
I'm not a Fauci.
Look at the labels. Yeah. Kay, let's go before the lawsuits come in. Kay writes, what's the best way to freeze soup? Can you freeze soup that are cream-based or coconut milk-based? That's interesting.
Yes, Kay, you can. And use the mason jar method. 1.5 inches of headroom, a little less if it's all liquid, a little more if there's a lot of solids. But yes, you can freeze them. And I've had soups in my freezer for over a year, but I'm also a freezer person. Someday we should do a segment on my freezers at home. They're kind of a lot.
Oh, yeah. We'll send photographer Eric there immediately, and we'll make him eat all the stuff in your freezer.
Yeah, all the old stuff.
Is it healthy, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Next, Thelma. Hi, Thelma. She has a question about cooking soup. Thelma writes, do you prefer simmering on the stove, slow cooker, or instant pot?
So it kind of depends. If I'm doing vegetable soups, I think the instant pot in the slow cooker. If I'm doing tough meat, like you're doing like a beefy soup or a brothy soup, I would probably go for slow cooker because you want more time for that to break down. Or the Instant Pot for beans. I mean, you can make beans from dried in 45 minutes in the Instant Pot. You can have like black bean soup. So you can do it on a weeknight.
It's very quick. I
Yeah,
mean, it is
totally quick. Beans and the Instant Pot is a game changer.
Finally, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Kelly wants to know if you have any low sodium soup recipes that you like to make on your website. Do you have any?
I do. Like, how about my zucchini curry soup? There's no salt in curry, so this is just chicken broth, zucchini, and literally curry. There's no cream or anything. It's delicious. Pumpkin soup, you know, when you're making your own, you only put in as much salt as you want. And if you are using prepared broth, you can use a low sodium broth or make your own broth and don't put any salt in it, and you can control everything.
People are going to do this.
Yeah.
I know they're going to do
My
this.
stock bag.
You have all these recipes on your website,
I do.
right?
I put it into one post.
You're
13
so nice.
of them.
You're so nice. For all of Stephanie's soup tips and recipes, check out her website right there at the bottom of your screen, stephaniesdish.com, and we'll, of course, post this a little bit later. Be patient on our Jason Show Facebook page. We'll be back right after this. Those are all from the freezer. We'll have Eric eat it later.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Zoom in there. Look at that. Give you a little headache there. Welcome back to the show. Hey, over the weekend, I got a chance to dive into Katie Couric's new book, Going There, and I got to say, she went there. We've talked about the stories in the book over the past few weeks. Now, I am about midway through. I'll probably have more dish to share, but I want to concentrate on one particular portion of her life, one particular portion of the book that's gotten a lot of criticism, and that is along the lines of the criticism that Katie's a mean girl, that she really didn't support colleagues at NBC, one of them being Deborah Norville, who, if you're a youngin', you know her from Inside Edition. I'm old enough to remember in 1989 when she replaced Jane Pauley, beloved Jane Pauley. It was looked upon as an all about Eve situation, and it really, really was. For whatever reason, the bonehead executives at NBC, proof bosses don't always know what they're doing, thought, oh, you know, the ratings were starting to tick down a little bit, and they blamed Jane. Jane was 38, 39 at the time, Katie writes, and the guys running NBC thought, oh, she's a little long in the tooth. So let's bring in Deborah Norville, who was about 8 or 9 years younger. Jane was so classy, Katie writes, and you can Google it, you can YouTube it. Jane was so classy at her goodbye, but it was real uncomfortable for Jane, Katie writes. Jane didn't know they used to just put Jane Pauley and Bryant Gumbel on the couch. And then one day they didn't even bother telling Jane, and suddenly Deborah Norville was sitting on the couch with them. And Katie writes, you know, Jane was a little put off by that, but she started to see the writing on the wall. Katie has come under criticism leading up to this book because a lot of folks have taken quotes out of context and turned them into stories. Thus, it's important to actually read and watch crap before you open your mouth. And one of them has one of the things she's been criticized about is her things about Deborah Norville. They're like, oh, Katie was so mean to Deborah. No, they pulled one quote out of this book where Katie says that, I'm paraphrasing, that Deborah was too perfect for viewers, that women in the audience were turned off by her perfection. I think I got that quote right. What the people criticizing Katie left out is 4 paragraphs back leading into the conversation. Katie is effusive, is so complimentary of Deborah, calling her so well educated, so smart, a hard worker, basically praising how great Deborah was, and it really wasn't Deborah's fault. But Katie made the observation. She knows the research, and Deborah was a turnoff to some women in the audience. That's just fact. But it's really easy for clicks and watches to pull one quote out of context. And when I read this part, I just thought, this is the bad thing about. This is the unfortunate thing where people watch something, or they don't watch something, or they don't read something, and they still criticize it. And you also learn in this book how Katie really wasn't an overnight success. There were a lot of people at NBC that, here you're watching this. This is actually Katie's first day as co-anchor of the Today Show. She really was an underdog. There were executives you learn in Katie's book at NBC that didn't want her on the air. The late, great Tim Russert, she talks a lot about. It was Tim Russert who saw something in Katie and helped make her the Pentagon correspondent for NBC News. When everybody else thought she was green and a lightweight, Tim Russert stuck his neck out for Katie in the late 80s and made her a Pentagon correspondent. And she spent her honeymoon, this was a great part of the book, she spent her honeymoon going through meticulous military books, learning the difference between this helicopter and that helicopter, learning all of the initials of, and you just learn she's a really hard worker. Look, as I get deeper into the book, I'll come back and say, where she deserves some criticism. But the Deborah Norville thing just illustrates a big problem with advanced quote pulling. You don't get the context, and context is king.
I know that you're not finished with it, but
No.
so far, do you like the book at least?
I do. I can't wait to get back in the car and continue, because I have the audiobook.
Okay.
Because I'm right at this era when she's getting ready to be named co-anchor of the Today Show with Bryant Gumbel. And that's a juicy era. We're not even in the Matt Lauer era. But again, it's easy to read these headlines and go, oh, Katie's horrible. But context, people, context. Going There is out now and available wherever books are sold. We're going to take a break, find out what's in the surprise ending when we do, coming up. Welcome back, my friends. You ready?
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep.
It is time for the world's shortest segment. Now the Halloween is over. Mariah Carey is ready for the next season. Take a look at this. Okay, 11:05. See that really quick? That was a little flash. Maybe a new song, maybe new music. I don't know. At midnight, she released this on her Instagram. It ends with her saying, "We have to get through Thanksgiving before Christmas season begins." I kind of agree with her. I think I'm going to decorate next week.
I usually do a week or two before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work. I want to make it last.
Right.
That's a lot of work to put that stuff up.
It takes forever.
I have like 8,000 stags I got to put up.
It's hard.
What's in the surprise goodbye? You're going to find out when we find out. When we return. Back in a moment. Got to get my stags out. Welcome back. Wrapping up the first start of a brand new week. Brand new month, Kendall.
Yeah.
I know.
No Shave November. Are you going to do it?
I already don't shave. Okay, it's time for the surprise goodbye. The sound is never loud enough on that soundbite. Anyway, Kendall and I are in the dark about what the producers have put in the segment until right now. Today, it's a hilarious moment from the latest episode of the Great British Baking Show. No spoilers here, but watch the confusion involving Italian contestant Giuseppe. Look.
Have you made baklava before?
I've never made baklava before. I've never made filo pastry before.
You haven't?
It's a massive hassle. Why would you? You just buy it.
It's a what? A massive...
It's a hassle.
Oh,
Hassle.
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 Oh, my word. I genuinely thought you said something else there. A massive hassle. Please don't write in to complain.
Hassle.
Hassle.
It still sounds like it.
There was another moment with Prue where Prue talked, I can't even say it because it can be interpreted as dirty, but Paul Hollywood and Matt, the co-host, started laughing so hard because it's Dame Prue, when she's so prim and proper, and she starts doing these, it was a little bit of a double entendre, and the men turn into 11-year-old boys when that happens, and it's a good moment. Yeah. Prue literally told him to grow up. She's like, just stop it. Grow up. Tomorrow on the show, one of our good friends, Chef Yi Vang, returns to our studio. We'll talk to him about finding a permanent home for his first restaurant, and he's cooking up a favorite dish as well. But right now, that's going to do it for us. If you're watching and you're a kid that's being bullied, go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Come on, Kendall, let's go eat some soup.